Hello everyone, Karen today I'm going to do another video, and today, celebrating what would have been Roy Orbison's 84th birthday today, I'm going to do a video showing my Roy Orbison record collection. So, this could be a multi-part video, like maybe 1 or 2 or 3 parts, because I've got a lot of albums. I've got this amount of singles, but I've got a load of albums down there, so I might make this into a two-parter. Yeah, make it into a two-parter, so let's just get on the video. So, I'm going to start with the 7-inch singles first. Just go with them. Only the Lonely, 1960, one of his biggest hits on the London label, with Here Comes That Song Again, fantastic song that. Blue Angel, Today's Teardrops, 1960. I'm missing quite a lot, but hopefully I'll get them. Dream Baby, 1962, and The Actress, one of my favourite songs, In Dreams, from 1963 on the London Monument label, with Shada Roba, 1963. Falling and Distant Drums, 1963. I got an EP, In Dreams, with In Dreams, Shadow Robber on side 1 and Falling and Distant Drums on side 2. Mono, 1963. It's a nice picture on the front. It's on this London Monument label. Haven't got the other Roy Orbison EPs, but I might get them eventually. Blue Bayou, another one of my favourites, 1963. Mean Woman Blues. It's Over, one of my favourites. An Indian Wedding. Oh, well, at least we're doing that. Another It's Over, an Indian Wedding that I got on a job lot on eBay. Oh Pretty Woman, great song, probably my favourite Roy Orbison song, 1964, with Yo Te Amo Maria. And a bit of a beat up copy of that. Pretty Paper, Summer Song, 1964. Good Night, 1965, Only With You. And the last sort of Monument single, Say You're My Girl, 1965, and Sleepy Hollow. Now, Roy had left Monument for MGM, but he was still on London at this point in the UK. Ride Away, 1965, and Wondering. Breaking Up Is Breaking My Heart, 1966. Wait. Oh, that's some. A lot of these singles are in the wrong way, or in the wrong order. Oh, yeah. Lana and House Without Windows on London Monument. Too Soon to Know and You'll Never Be 16 Again in London. Here's an American import of Communication Breakdown on MGM. With Going Back to Gloria. There Won't Be Many Coming Home, 1966. With Going Back to Gloria. On the B-side of that, So Good, and this is a good song from 1967 with Memories, a really nice slow B-side. Walk On and Flowers. This is an American promo. It's an MGM special disc jockey record. So this is like a promo copy, which is really cool to have there. Wild Hearts, Roy Orbison, 1985. I don't have a lot of the 60s and 70s singles, but late 60s, early 70s singles, but hopefully get them on ZTT Records with Wild Hearts Time on one side and Wild Hearts Voiceless, which is pretty high instrumental version. That was 1985. Next, of course, one of his most signature songs, You Got It, one of his best and probably one of his signature songs, with The Only One. This is an American pressing on the Virgin label, 1989. She's a Mystery to Me, another great song, with Crying, which is a re-recording of one of his old 60s hits, but a duet with a singer called Katie Lang, and that's a great version. Also on the Virgin label from 1989. And Roy Orbison and Katie Lang's duet was also released as a single in 1992 with Falling on the B-side on Virgin. And this is Oh Pretty Woman with the original version of Crying. This is a 2013 re-release that came in a box with a Roy Orbison t-shirt that I've got somewhere hopefully I might do a video on my music t-shirts, but they've done a really nice reproduction of the original like Monument style label, and I think that's really, really cool. Okay, that's the singles done. Pretty quick that. But we're going to go over the albums, and the albums might take a long while, and that is probably the reason why I'm doing this as like a multi-part video. His first album was in 1961, Roy Orbison at the Rock House. Roy was signed to the Sun label like many rock and roll contemporaries like Elvis and Johnny Cash and Jerry Lee Lewis and Carl Perkins were all started off on the Sun Records label, and that was how they first became like noticed. And Roy Orbison is in this is an example of this case as well. This is not an original copy from 1961. This is a 2014 exclusive Black Friday Record Store Day re-release on colour vinyl, like limited to 3,000 copies, and I got 752. Not a bad number. These are the songs there. All pretty good rock and roll songs. Things like This Kind of Love, Trying to Get to You, Sweet and Easy to Love, and Ooby Dooby as well, one of his big hit songs there. But I really like what they've done. They've made a nice job replicating the original Sun Records label, and as I say with the colour vinyl, it's on a nice red vinyl, which is really cool. They've really done a real nice reproduction of the original Sun Records label there. Yeah. Well, Orbison started off with Sun. It wasn't until he signed with Monument Records in 1961 he became a well-known star and released this album, Lonely and Blue, in 1960 or 61. Something like that. This isn't an original copy either. This is a music on vinyl re-release, but it's a really nice reproduction of the original, I'd say. They've made it a nice reproduction, so I'll just take it out of the flat there. Finding these originals can be quite tricky, but there's loads of these where we've got originals of. But it's a nice cover and a nice reproduction of the original. Now, of course, this had the big hit "I'm Little Lonely" on as well, and Blue Angel as well, but there's other great highlights in here, like he does a nice cover of Bye Bye Love as well, which is an Everly Brothers hit, and he does a great job of, and he does a good job of that, I think. There's one called Come Back to Me My Love, Blue Angel. He does a song called Here I'd Be a Legend in My Time, which loads of country artists have covered, including Orbison, Johnny Cash, and the Everly Brothers. That's quite a popular song for like covers, because loads of people have covered that probably. I'm Hurting as well is a great one, and I'll Say It's My Fault is also a good one. So yeah, and there's like technical details, nice, and some liner notes, because this was probably Roy's debut. But they've made a really nice reproduction of the original Monument label, which I really like the design of. This white and gold label, I think that's really nice. And I think stereo, it says up there? Yep, stereo, which is quite cool. So yeah, I do like that label design. I know I've seen someone pick up an original of this. I think original UK of this. I can't remember who it was, but I do not really see a lot of people do Roy Orbison records on their channel. So don't know if I'm the first, but I'm probably not the last person. But not too. I know I've seen quite a few people show off their records, but not a lot. So well, and this is something I've been meaning to do for a long time. So today was a good time to do it, since it's Orbison's 84th, or it would have been his 84th. There's that one. Now this is where we hit the really interesting records. This is an original mono from 1962 of Crime. This is an original pressing on mono, as you can see there. There's the songs there. Really great album, I must admit. I really like this one. Of course, the title track. He does a great cover of The Great Pretender, which Freddie Mercury also does a version of. That's a great one. Love Hurts as well, which is originally an Everly Brothers song, but he has a great cover of that. She Wears My Ring is also great, so is Wedding Day. Dance, that's a real upbeat song. Lana, Let's Make a Memory. And the last track, Running Scared, which is one of his most signature songs, and probably one of his best as well. That's the other one there. And this is an original mono, as I say, on the London label, which was his Orbison's label that released many of Roy's records in the UK, in this country, in the UK. Nice plum label design. So, a nice put in the back. And now Roy was a big star, and by 1962, Monument for some reason decided to release a compilation called Roy Orbison's Greatest Hits. Now this contains pretty much everything to that point, I'll say. Everything to that point. But there's new songs on here called Love Star and Evergreen as well, which are both great songs. There's loads of big hits on here as well. There's a nice picture of the front with all the songs in like different colours. In the back, a nice picture of Roy. Now this is something that the Decca re-released in the 1960s in the UK, but this had only been available in the States at the time. So this is like a late 60s pressing. It's got a nice picture of Roy on the front. There's the songs. This is mono again. Oh, it's sticky. There's the label. So that one. And I have another copy. This one is stereo. Now, this is the first copy, but while the cover is really nice, really white and clean, the record isn't in as good a condition as the mono one, I'm afraid. Stereophonic. It's got a lot of marks of scratching on it, but it plays really well. It plays really well. Without any problems, it plays really well, which is good. Even though it's scratched, in some cases, even though a record's scratched and it plays really well, that's always a good thing. Yeah. That's that one. And this is another Roy Orbison's Greatest Hits, but this is a later 70s reprint, and this is the original back cover that was used for the original American editions of the album. So that would have been the front, and this would have been the back in like black. Yeah, really cool to find it. And needs a bit of gluing, I know, but it's on this Monument label from CBS in like the 1970s, I think. I think CBS Records sort of, yeah, manufactured and distributed. They were the distributors of this record. Now this does need a bit of gluing, as you can see. Should have really done that before I made the video, but yeah, this has just really sat on the shelf for a while. So it's a nice picture. In 1963, Roy released In Dreams, which is one of his best songs, and even this album's great as well. I think I included this in my favourite albums of all time slideshow, which I did not too long ago, but yeah, I really like that picture of Roy in the front with like the glasses and the guitar. I think that's a really nice photo. Liner notes. It's a mono again, and there's the songs there. Obviously the track In Dreams is on here, so is the track Blue Bayou, which is a great song. I love Lonely Wine as well, Sunset, House Up Windows, Dream, and there's a great cover of the Everly Brothers' All I Have to Do Is Dream on here, and the song Beautiful Dreamer as well, it's great, and and My Prayer as well. So there's like, with Orbison's albums, there's loads of like original compositions, but there's also some songs that he didn't write as well. So, the line notes there. Now this one is in good. This is 1963. This is in good condition, but it's got a name on the back, Margaret J. Miller. So she must have been a Roy fan in the 60s, I presume. And it's on the London label. And it's a little bit tatty, but yeah. And this one has a few marks, but plays really, really well, which is good. And this is on the London Monument label. So by this point, Roy was a big star. He was sort of like big in the US, but here and like in the UK. But it was in the UK where he was pretty much. It was very popular in this country. I feel a lot more than he was in the States. He was much loved here, probably as much as he was like in the States. But I think over here he was most popular. And he went on his first UK tour in a bill appearing with the Beatles. So he was a big star by this point. And I've got another In Dreams. The cover's in a bit better condition, but the record isn't in as good a condition, I'm afraid. The inner sleeve is pretty much shredded, so you could pretty much pull it out from the side. Now this is really scratched. It doesn't, loads of scratches and marks on it, but it's not too bad. I think I cleaned it. I think I gave it a bit of a clean, actually. It's I always really play this one if I want to hear In Dreams. Might give this one a play later on. Maybe might listen to Roy later on today. Actually, well, I'm not sure what I want to go for, but I'm sure I'll pick up something. Then we have more of Roy Orbison's greatest hits. Now this was 1964, so he was just a big star there. And again, similar with the Roy Orbison greatest hits, this was something that the UK Decca released in the 1960s or late 60s, but after Roy left Monument. So this was a print in 64, but this is I think a 1968 reprint. I love the cover with like the singles. I think that's a really cool, with all like the singles and all that. And this is a stereo. This one's not great. It's got a bit of tape marks on it, and it's got a bit of a tear on the back. But this pretty much goes from like it's over and like the big hit and blew pretty much through up till pretty much where the original greatest hits left off, and then we have like this continuing part. So yeah, and this is on Monument as well. This is stereo. Originally came out in 64. Plays well. It plays well though, which is good. Even though it's got a few marks. Not too bad, but it does play well though, which is good. Very lucky that even though most of these 60s records are like not in the best of condition, they still sound really good, which really amazing. They still sound really, really good, and that's one of the things that amazes me with loads of these 60s records, is that they sound really good. And I have a US pressing as well, 1964 in stereo as well. The cover's in a bit better condition, I'd say. And we're on this kind of Monument label. Monument Records. And we have one called Early Orbison, and this is similar. This is a late 60s reprint, but it originally came out in 64 in the US, but in the UK I don't think it was until 68 that this came out. This is also a stereo. This has like some of the album tracks on here, so it's pretty interesting. Monument. The only thing is, I don't really like the cover. Yeah, I think that would have probably made a good picture, because this is like a really early photo of Roy. I think that's a nice one. This one, yeah, don't really like it. It's strange because there's loads of these album covers I like, but this one, nah, not really. And next in 1964 we got this compilation album. Well, I think an album in like Britain called Oh Pretty Woman, but this never came out in the US. This is like a selection of different like songs that were not on UK albums. Like most of these songs were like released as singles in like the UK. Some of the examples I've shown like earlier, but these are, like consist of the songs that had not appeared on UK albums until this point. This was 1964 mono original. Again, a really great picture of Roy in the front. Nice photo. And the back's also a great picture with him and his guitar. And there's always that myth of why he wore the sunglasses. Well, he was about to go and do the UK tour with the Beatles in 1963, and he had a pair of clear glasses which you can see him wearing in Dreams. You can see him wearing those. And he had a pair of dark sunglasses with him. And it was a really sunny night when he was on the plane, so he took the prescription shades off and put on the dark glasses, and he put the prescription pair to the side. By the time he got to the UK, he'd forgotten his shades, his regular glasses. He kept the shades on pretty much from then until the rest of his life, and this became like his trademark look, pretty much. And the songs, and this is on London Monument. The cover's a little bit tatty, it's a little bit worn, but the record's in good condition, so it's always good. There's that one. I really love a lot of the design of these 60s albums with like the flip back sleeves. I really like the design. A lot of the design of these 60s covers. And I've got another one, which is in much nicer condition, on the London Monument label. Yeah, pretty much the same. Another one called Roy Orbison Sings, and this is like a compilation record, I think, on Allegro, however you say the label. It's like some Italian label name, I don't really know. But this has some Orbison songs. It also has Jerry Lee Lewis and Tommy Rose songs in here as well. A nice cover, I must admit. Nice cover. But yeah, and one I don't really know an awful lot about. I think it came out in 1965. This one. Yeah, 1965. As it says at the bottom there. It's on this nice soft black label. Now this was actually one of the early records I bought when I was collecting records. Well, I just sort of collected records. But I found this in a charity shop, which was quite cool. And the Orbison songs are Problem Child and You're My Baby. And I think the rest are Jerry Lee Lewis and Tommy Rowe. And I Never Knew and Domino are also Orbison songs. So yeah. There's that one. Bit of an oddity there. I don't think I ever heard of this until until the charity shop. Until I went to that shop somewhere in Salkets, I think. In here in Scotland. So this is one I'd never heard of before until that point. And it's very difficult to slide in. That is quite hard to get in, but anyhow. And there's another one. Not much difference. Not much difference. And now Roy has left Monument for MGM, but still remains in London, as I say, and records this album. There's only one Roy Orbison in 1965. Again, another great album cover. Another really great album cover. This is one you could like get another one of and put a frame on. There's loads of these I could frame these covers for because they're really nice pictures, I think. And this is a stereo copy. And this is a great album, and there's a great picture of Roy on his motorbike. It's a really cool photo. Yeah, this is a great album as well. We've got Right Away, You Fool You, This Is Your Song, I'm in a Blue Blue Mood. Claudette, which was a song that he'd originally given to the Everly Brothers, and they put it on the B-side of their song, All I Have to Do Is Dream. So quite a connection between Roy and the Everly Brothers there. Might do an Everly Brothers video as well, as I say. Afraid to Sleep as well is great. Summer Love, Big As I Can Dream, and Wandering as well. In fact, the whole album is great, you know. And this is a really, really nice copy in stereo. And there's the London label. It's in blue. Stereo was like blue and mono was like purple label. It's nice. And the record's in really good condition too. Plays really well, which is great. So that is, yes. Get it in. There we are. So is that one? Oh, wrong way. Now, this copy isn't in as good a condition. This claims to be there's like a big rip on it. It claims to be a stereo cover, but the record's actually mono. But there you go. Nothing wrong with that. Then maybe I could get this one framed. If I start framing records, this could be one of the ones I frame. There's that. And I got a 2015 reissue of that because they re-released all the MGM albums in 2015, and this was one of them. And this is pretty much a nice reproduction of the original US one, or maybe I might frame this one actually. And it's a nice reproduction of the original MGM label from Universal. I've got the CD set, so I might do a video on the CD set as well someday. Nice reproduction of the MGM label, really nice design. And then Monument released this compilation called Orbie Songs in 1965, which pretty much songs that Roy didn't put out on an album until that point, like Pretty Woman and stuff like that. as well as 2 songs that had never before been released until this point, which are Let the Good Times Roll and I Get So Sentimental. But there's other songs in here as well. So now this is again, like some of the other ones, late 60s re-release. This is 67, but it originally came out in 65, 66, something like that in the US, but in the UK it wasn't. And this is a mono one. Mono. So, quite a nice cover. Next, in 1966, there was The Orbison Way. This is another good album. This is a mono. 1966, as I say. Crawling Back, which was one of the big hits in the album. That was a great song. Time Change Everything. This Is My Land Alone. Breaking After Breaking My Heart. Go Away. New Star. Never. And It Wasn't Very Long Ago as well. In fact, the whole album's great. There's loads of great albums on here. You know, a lot of these MGM albums didn't do well later on because, you know, Roy was kind of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones were like dominating the US charts, and but Roy wasn't really selling as many records as he used to anymore by this point. But he was still popular with concerts. He was still a very big concert attraction. But most of his records weren't doing too well by this point. But again, another nice cover. And this is on London as well. But this is a later copy. I think it's on the black London label in mono. And by this point, you know, a lot of dark things happened to Roy in his life by this point. His first wife was killed in a motorbike accident in June '66, as pretty much all of us know, and that was obviously a great impact. In 1966, Roy released this, the classic Roy Orbison. This is a stereo copy, 1966. Love You, Love Me, 16 Again, Twinkle Toes, Losing You, Growing Up, Where's Tomorrow, I'll Never Get Over You, Just Another Name for Rock and Roll, which is a good rock song. And again, another great cover. Roy with a nice car and some... I don't know where that picture's taken. It's a nice picture though, I must admit. If I could get another one copy of that, I could again frame that, because it's a nice cover. Nice picture of him with a very nice car. And Roy probably liked his cars, you know. He was a great, you know, he liked a lot of the old, like a lot of ancient cars and like things like that, you know. In a sleeve, the plain white, you know, saying London blue label. It's a nice one. Is that one? I don't have the album Roy Orbison Sings Don Gibson and the Fastest Guitar Live soundtrack film, which he was in and sang in. Don't have those yet, but keep my fingers crossed I'll get them. But this is a nice one called Cry Softly Lonely One with a really nice cover, like him with a car, another nice car. There's the back, another nice photo, stereo. And we've got great tracks like She, Communication Breakdown, Cry Softly Lonely One. Here Comes the Rain, well, that's No, Memories, Time to Cry, Only Life, and Just One Time as well. So yeah, a lot of good stuff on this album as well. That. An original stereo copy, like loads of these stereo, some of them mono. It's a stereo on the Plum, on Anu. They've changed label designs by this point. 1967, this one was. Of course, you know, he had another tragedy later on with two of his sons, you know, in a house fire. But he did eventually remarry and had another family, so it was all worked out. This is Roy Orbison's Many Moods. Now this is another one of those reissues that I got. This did not come out in the UK, did not come out in Europe, only came out in America and Australia. But I think it's a great album. Again, another really nice cover, nice picture. The back's also a nice picture. Kind of similar to, hang on, The Orbison Way in 1966. So kind of 3 years later they use it, a black and white version for this. So quite interesting that. So it's a real nice reproduction of him as well. So again, another great album. I love Truly Truly True, Unchained Melody, Heartache, Good Morning Dear, One Night My Love, Walk On, and Try to Remember as well. Great songs. So there's that. And a really nice reproduction of the original MGM label as well, with a nice blue and gold label to it. I think that's really nice. I might show a few more and then we'll do part 2. There's that. And there's one called Roy Orbison, The Original Sound. This is like a Sun Records compilation. So pretty much kind of a re-release of his first album, except for the song Problem Child's not here, so but still nice to have. Sun Records, 1969. Stereos. I have a compilation called Little Richard and Roy Orbison. This is from RCA. Some Roy Orbison songs, I think, from when Roy was signed to RCA for a bit, and then there's some Little Richard songs in here, so I obviously buy them for the Roy songs. This is, I think, electronically created stereo. It's on this label. Yeah, the answer is bit, so I had to put some tape on it, but there we are, there's that. Okay, now I'm going to show one more album I've got a few copies of. This is The Big O. This is probably a favourite of mine. I really like this one. Again, a great cover as well. This came out in 1969 or sort of 1970. So yeah, now the original plan for Roy, he was going to record a live album on a UK tour, and he did, but they didn't. But the record company weren't going to release it for some reason. So Roy recorded a lot of the songs he'd been playing in the club instead, in like the studio. So and he was accompanied by a UK group called the Art Movement, who backed up Roy on frequent tours after this album, and they were on this 1969 UK tour as well. So yeah, this is a cool album. I really love a lot of the songs. They're all covers and there's some originals. Like down the line, I think it's a revisit of one of his old Sun recordings. There's great songs like great covers of like Break My Mind, Help Me Rhonda, Only You, Money When I Stop Dreaming. There's like Love and Touch, Scarlet Ribbons, and even Penny Arcade, which is quite a popular song for him in 1969. So this is a mono copy, the last Roy Orbison release in mono, in both mono and stereo, on the black label. And I have the stereo copy. This was the first copy of it I had. And as you can see, they would colour coordinate these. So you have like red for mono and blue for stereo. And this is in a blue sleeve, so it's obviously stereo, and it's on the plum label as well. Yeah, nice to have that one. And I got a sort of another copy, which I don't really need because it's a mono cover. Well, it's in a mono sleeve, but it's a stereo record. So this one I probably might frame if I start framing records, covers, or I could just give this one to a charity shop. Maybe, who knows. But it's a nice cover. So that's it for part 1. I'm going to take a break and then we're going to come back to do part 2.